All right, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, welcome, 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 everyone. We are back with the book study of The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and my co-host is with me, Sister Maya. Peace and blessings, Queen. Glad that you're here.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
All right, all right. You ready to get into it?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, so we're on chapter 1, and this is part 2. If you're in the book, we're going to start reading on page 11, and that is, so we're doing page 11 to 17 tonight. All right, ready?
Ready.
How pathetic a sight many of us make as we boast of our meager education and the attainment of a measure of economic growth. All these things are an illusion. When rightly viewed, your education has been designed by your oppressors with the specific intent of keeping you in servitude. Your economic growth has been achieved by installment buying, which is now clearly shown to be a banger's rope about the neck of the black man. Our oppressors own and control everything. We have nothing. What then is the basis of our vaunted and foolish pride? Something must be wrong upstairs. I ask you, how in the name of common sense can we be satisfied with our roles of servitude and as the helpless victims of injustice? If we have simple intelligence and love for our fellow men, we must sound the alarm and let the world know we are not satisfied. We must shake off the dead, dumb, and blind shackles that have beset us for generations and move toward unity of our kind. This is the truth. The truth hurts. I will speak it or die. I'm not afraid to die for truth indeed. I did not take this mission to try and save my life. I took the mission to fulfill truth, even at the cost of death. We must unite at all costs. Once united, we must stand fully packed as a wall against injustice. If your brother does not want to unite with you, then you must teach him, cajole him, urge him, and persuade him by all methods available until he realizes that he too must give his all on the altar of justice. For what if 10 million of us die in the process? The remaining 7 million or more of us will enjoy freedom, justice, and equality.
Mm.
Got anything on that?
Yes. It is really, really important to understand that, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that we have to push, cajole, urge, persuade people to understand what must take place. Because if we are to give all on the altar of justice, then that means that we have to love one another more than we love basketball, more than we love football, more than we love the creature comforts that we receive as individuals. That means that we're going to have to sacrifice. And when it talks about the education, that, you have these degrees, but really you don't have anything. You don't have anything. When they give you a degree, they prescribe for you the area in which that you can operate. And there's always a ceiling there. And at some point, it's like we got to be tired of hitting our head on a ceiling because information is cut off to us. Information is cut off. I know one day in the pharmacy, and I was thinking about mixing two medications together, but when I was reading the other label, it was saying don't do it, but add something else to it. And I was wondering, well, why? Well, why is that? And I asked the head pharmacist, and he was like, "No, you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. Just do what the directions say." But that's not helping me. That's not answering the problem. That's not answering the problem that I have, because I want to know why. That means I need this extra knowledge so that I can understand everything that I'm doing, instead of you just telling me do A, B, C, and D, and not explaining why putting this in here is not going to work. So,
Mhm.
we have to be able and be quizzitive to go and ask why. Because as long as they prescribe for us the level of our education, that means they prescribe for us the circumference of our activity. Because if you don't know something, then you won't be able to achieve something. And this is something that we have to understand and deal with, because they only want to deal with us on the level of being their servants. They don't never like to be in a situation where we're on top of them. We had this one person at the pharmacy, and he's a white male, and he so badly wants to be in charge. He's so, he's always coming over and giving his 2 cents, or giving his 2 cents here or there. And it's like, dude, you're not running nothing. I don't need you to tell me I'm doing a good. I already know it. I don't need that. But it's in his nature to want to be above us. So even though he's not, he sneaks over and try to throw words in there to people to make it seem as though I'm giving you permission to do something, or I'm allowing you to do something. And we have to push back. We have to push back and stop taking things as, it'll be okay, it'll be all right. Because no, it won't. It won't. We have to make sure that we point it out. Because when we point out things and our people are standing around watching, standing around listening, and it will encourage them to be able to speak up and say the same thing. And with that, I'll rest on that.
So for me, when he mentions your economic growth, or our economic growth has been achieved by installment buying, he says that it's clearly shown to be a banger's rope about the neck of the black man. And, a lot of our people, we don't know how to spend money. We don't know how money works. We don't have respect for money, and we find ourselves in very bad financial situations. And one thing I learned was just to be very responsible with my money. I had to learn how money works. And the spirit, one I remember when I was in my old house, my spirit spoke to me one day and said, sit down with the notebook. I'm going to teach you how to budget your finances. And I'm always obedient when I hear that voice. And from the day spirit showed me what to do, I've been doing it now for about over 20 years, and I've never paid a bill late ever since that time. And so when it comes to credit, we don't know how, we don't understand credit, and how when you use a credit card, you're not supposed to wait to make a payment, because it's going to be tied to very high interest rates, which is going to put us, at a disadvantage. But what I had to do was research what a banger's rope is, because I never heard about it. Do you know what a banger's rope is?
No, I don't know what it is either.
Okay, so I'm going to show you right quick what a banger's rope is. And it is, let's see if how well it shows on the screen. Can you see it on the screen?
Yep.
So
Hold on.
that is a banger's rope. And what it's used for is used in farming to scare birds away. And it's really just a rope with some like mini, I guess some mini dynamites attached to it at various intervals. And once you light it, it makes a very loud sound, and allow explosive sounds. So can you imagine having that around your neck
Mm,
because
mm,
you are in debt to this
mm,
capitalistic society, just walking around with your head about to explode? And I
mm.
thought that was very interesting, because I had never heard a banger's rope, never seen a banger's rope, but that is it's really, really a heavy burden. Another thing that I found interesting, when the minister when the master teacher says something must be wrong upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be like, too kinds of crazy to, especially in that time period with all of the violence that was taking place, with our people,
Mm-hmm.
not to want to like you praying for an answer. And he said, I'm the answer. You're praying for a solution. Okay, well, it is here. It just didn't look
Mm-hmm.
like it didn't, it was in the form of a man, and a black man at that people were not willing to accept it. If it was a white man, they probably would have failed at Elijah Muhammad's feet. But our
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand that we have to save ourselves. And thereby, I believe that's why he says something just got to be wrong upstairs. Like in our generation today, we'll be like, you retarded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we'll say. So he was even, very modest with that. But that was just it for me. Oh, and then when he said cajole. So basically, when you cajole someone, I had to look that up too. That's not a word in my vocabulary, but that's when you make promises, and sometimes those promises might be false. But nevertheless, the way I look at it in terms of what he is trying to tell people is, when you're trying to persuade people to open up and to see the light, and understand that we have to save ourselves, you have to say, look, I know you may have to let some stuff go. I know that we're going to have to make, big sacrifices that you may not be accustomed to, but I'm going to be here to help you. If you need daycare, I'll help you. If you need a ride, I'm going to help you. That's just like the Montgomery bus boycott. You know, when they refused to ride that bus, people were willing to help each other. They were walking, riding, carpooling,
Mm-hmm.
bicycling. They were cajoling each other to make the institution understand, if you don't like my black, you will not get my green. And what happened? The bus company folded, and they
Mm-hmm.
they told black folks, okay, now you can sit wherever you want. Well, the mistake was that we continued to ride the bus. We should have never got back on the bus. But, to some degree, it was, nice to know that they were working together. But in the end, we still dropped the ball when we got back on the buses.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And with that bus situation, we had our own bus companies. And soon as we were allowed to ride anywhere on the white folk bus company, our bus companies closed. And this was a major, major setback for us. And we have to, and this is a part of the problem, even still to this very day, with the boycotts of Target and the boycotts of Amazon. You do all of this. You do all of this for what? At the end of the day, you're begging your enemy to take your money. You're begging your enemy to treat you right. Stop giving the money, period, and open up your own and make your own better so that more people can access it. But if we don't come out of this slave making thinking, we're always going to be beggars. And this is a problem. And Roland Martin and them, they do what they know. And it shows that they know nothing. Because now in 2025, and you fucking still singing, we shall overcome. It's a problem. In 2025, you want to boycott and boycott and boycott because they ain't going to treat you right. It's a problem. You have not realized that they're not made to treat you right. So instead of boycotting for a month, 6 months, 3 months, just stop it and get your own. Open up your own. As the message said, we must shake off the dead, dumb, and blind shackles that have beset us for generations. See, this is your problem. It ain't no damn generational curse. It's the generations of ignorance that's been riding high through the black community. This is our problem. And the more we keep looking to yesterday for the solutions that are here today, still doing the same old jackass stuff, thinking we're going to make progress. This is why we stay in the same mud. Shake the shackles off. because this has beset us for generations. I'm sorry, sister, you were speaking.
No, no worry. To me, I always the word for me, but I don't know where if I heard this or I came up with it. Economic treason. No, economic terrorism. I'm sorry. Economic terrorism is what we need to understand. It's going to be very effective for us. Because if we were to pull our dollars out of other ethnic groups, we would shut them down in less than 30 days.
Exactly.
They can't go past 30 days without us.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's so prophetic and profound and enlightening for the master teacher to say, y'all must be dumb. Something must be wrong with you. Like, you got to be two kinds of crazy. You got to be retarded. What about your situation you don't understand?
Right.
I was talking to somebody today and I was very explicit in what I explained. And they said something completely different. And I just looked at them like, are you crazy? Like, what is wrong with you? I'm telling you what to do. I'm giving you step-by-step directions. You don't want to hear it. You can't even receive it. Your mind can't even comprehend it. That's just how low you are in your comprehension. And I just didn't have any patience. So, and we still stuck, in my opinion, we still are stuck in that energy today. If the master teacher was alive today, he'd probably be using profanity with what's going on with us right now.
Exactly.
So Allah is sufficient for all our needs, and this is why I do not have to beg from our oppressors or march on their capital with my hat in my hand. For how can I, on one hand, preach the doom of the oppressive system and then with the other hand, ask alms of the oppressor? Allah is our God. We are his blessed. He has given all the world to us if we would but first give our all to him. I met with Allah as Moses met with Jehovah. Allah has revealed the truth unto me. It is up to you to believe it or let it alone. But this does not negate the fact that I know the end of it all. I know tomorrow. I would be happy to tell it to you if you will believe it. I want you to know that our oppressors are exerting every effort to prevent you and me from uniting. They don't want a united Negro. They do not want an Islamic so-called Negro. They know that Islam frees Black men from fear. As a result, it sets the oppressor's teeth on edge. The power of Islam is best seen when compared to the failures of Christianity. First, Christianity has failed you because, pause, let me say this. That whole reparation agenda, I do not agree with it. I respect anybody who has, whoever wants to deal with reparation and ask for reparation and march for it and petition. Okay, do you? But for the record, I'm going to be honest. You would never catch me doing that. Because I'm not going to go to someone who has raped my mother, my daughter, and myself and ask them to give me anything. If they wanted to give us something, they would have given it to us already. And in addition to that, why are we only asking the United States of America to pay us? Isn't Great Britain just as guilty? Do they not owe us something too? Doesn't Africa owe us something? The slave trader and the slave master owe us. So why am I going to just ask the United States for reparation? They're not guilty alone. It's too many people, it's too many countries that had their hand in the pot that have benefited from us. That's like beating a dead horse. And no, I will not ask them for anything but to go somewhere and die real fast. I will ask God to deal with them. Because if we don't come together and unite, nothing is going to change. No amount of money is going to change our situation until we have a mindset that we want to come together and make it work for us, and understand who we are, who they are not, and how we can just pull the plug, pull a rug from under their feet if we just connect and bond and work together and keep our dollars in our community. I'm 100% when he says Allah is sufficient for everything that I need. I would never. You've seen the last reparation march the last reparation march that I know of that Tariq Nasheed had. I think it was somewhere, I don't know if it was Maryland or DC, somewhere up in that area. He always asks for donations. And I remember he was asking, I think he said he needed $18,000 more to go. Now, I don't know how much money he raised, but he has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. He has not opened one grocery store, one medical facility, not an educational institution, no distribution, nothing. And he's getting donations from people all over the world. And you mean to tell me you want more money for a reparations march to go pay for a stage, lights, DJ, electronics, to pay the speakers? That's money that went in the garbage can. They could have put that money together and did a farm share and did a local little farmers market, because you got to start somewhere. We can't despise the beginning of small things. So we want to beg people for donations to have a march to ask a white man to give you some fucking restitution. That makes no sense to me. I don't have that type of time. I don't. I would rather learn how to farm, how to clean water in case we have to drink water from a filthy stream. How do you know how to be able to do that? How to sew, how to mend a wound, how to shoot, like how to hunt. There's so many other things I need to be doing than going to a white man asking him for some goddamn money. It just makes no sense to me. But anybody want to do it? Okay, go ahead. I'm not on board with that.
Right. And for me, I've worked on reparations in California. I've worked on reparations in Philadelphia. That has been a part of our political agenda. Now, and I always explain this just like this: reparations is a moral argument. And we're presenting a moral argument as it's seen. We're presenting a moral argument to people who have no morals.
Exactly.
Right? They have no morals. So it's not going to move them, not one bit. But the strategic thinking that I use by pushing reparations is, I'm waking up our people to A, look at what happened to you. B, look who did it to you. C, look who owes you. D, now we're putting this together and it is very nice, neat, and well organized. Now, when they tell you that the money now that you're owed for labor that your ancestors worked but were denied. And when you look at the Japanese that got theirs for less time than you got, you spent more time than they did. You look at the Jews who spent less time. You spent more time suffering than the Jews. You spent more time suffering than the Indians. But these are they that got theirs and you still without. Now, we done did it the nice way, and they said no. Now, are you ready to do it Muhammad's way. And at that point, they say yes. Because what? All else has failed. So we'll use this, teach this in a way to wake up our people to understand, to push them to the level where you are. So this is from the B1 perspective, how we use it. We use this as a tool to wake up our people, to educate our people, to understand what the price is. And once they understand what the price is and they understand how this affects them directly, they get on board with that and they understand now they wanting answers. And so when we come up against politicians who done sold us out, see, now we can have execution squads. We can say to them, you've done us wrong. We can go to the Tariq Nasheeds who misled our people and bring justice. See, I've said this over and over and over. There comes a day, God damn it, where you're gonna pay for the wrongs that you've done to our people. I don't give a damn what your color is. But when you wrong the people of God, damn it, there's a price that will be paid. And I'm here to bring that price to you. Now, this is what B1 does under my leadership. This is what we believe in. We believe in the execution of justice. And everybody will fall who's on the opposite end of that justice. So it is part of the strategic plan of waking up our people, because we know the enemy is not moral. So he ain't going to give it to you. It's not going to happen. The only way we're going to get it is when we get in those seats of power and we give it to our people. How did they get it in Illinois? Because they heard the black first. Look, there was nobody before me speaking about reparations and making cities bow down and say, you got to give it to your people. This is your responsibility. That was done at this table. Then you started seeing cities bringing up reparations. Why? Because Muhammad been doing the work. And they got to understand, damn it. I'm not playing when I say the words that come out my mouth. I mean this. I mean every damn word I say. Because our people listen to me. I owe them a responsibility. And as I've said to those in elected office, your day is coming. You mess around with us, you're going to meet what you've earned. You're going to meet what you've earned. Justice is not a diplomatic language. So when you hear me, you don't hear me speaking diplomatically, because I'm not a diplomat. And this is something that we got to understand and take it 1,000. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I'm not saying this to save my life. I will give my life for the truth. And that's the same way I feel. I ain't saying this to save. I'm giving my life to a people who deserve it. And if that means I gotta die on the front line, bring death, goddammit, because I ain't running from it. I know the price to be paid to do what I do. And I pay that price with a smile. And this is something that we gotta understand as warriors for our people.
So when it comes to the reparation movement, what are you doing now? Did you stop? Are you still doing it?
I'm still active. I'm pushing for reparations in Philadelphia right now. I'm part of the reparations task force as we speak. I got a meeting tomorrow.
And that's just for Philadelphians, people in the city of Philadelphia?
Exactly.
And So what are you saying, that this Pennsylvania will pay only black people in the state only, or the city, or how does that work?
You target cities. You target the cities. Once you win or lose in the city, you use that same effort, you target the county. You use that same effort and you target the state. Why do you do it in those three levels? Because each level, there's a level of responsibility, because all three levels played a part in our enslavement. Because our people like to look and find the nice white man that's going to say yes. And our understanding is there is no such thing as a nice white man that's going to say yes, not on the local level, not on the county level, and not on the state level. We don't believe that he exists. And so we will use that to pull out to show our people. There, see, when we say that the white man is the devil and that the white man is opposed to what is best for you, we can say, look here. This is what they have done on each and every level. So that boogeyman of the nice white man or nice white woman don't exist. The boogeyman of the nice Asian that's in office that's going to vote your way does not exist. The boogeyman of the nice Jew that's in politics that's going to vote your way, it doesn't exist. All of them who you think are nice and easy will show you their real face when they say, no, you don't deserve it. No, you're not going to get it.
I don't ever see it happening.
It's a strategy.
I know.
The end is, as I say again, there is no such thing as a white person that's going to give you, or a yellow person or a Jew going to give you reparations. They're all going to tell you no. But the more no's that you get, the more eyes of black people you are awakening. The more of them are coming into understanding why the white man is the devil. Why the Asian ain't no fucking better. Why the fake Jew wants you to be under their throat. You have to take them up to the why they are what we say they are.
I'm sorry, but don't you think that a lot of people have already been having these conversations? There's a lot of people out there talking reparations. Didn't the Democratic National Party even come out with some commentary about it after Kamala's loss?
They've been speaking reparations even before Kamala. It's been hit. Even Obama spoke. Mm-hmm. So it's not. It's the thing is this. Nobody has been able to connect with the common black person that's walking these streets, up and down these streets, that's working from can't see morning to can't see night, and explain to them exactly what's going on and waking them up. That's what we do. This is what we do. This is a strategic movement. And it's the fastest way to open our people's eyes once it's taught right, because it shows their what? Their own self-interest. And when they see that this is my own self-interest, that we're talking about creating generational wealth, so my children ain't got to be walking around with no shoes on, holes in their pants, holes this. My children ain't got to be selling drugs this or doing this, because they can see now these are the enemies that are against my own self-interest. Then it makes people that talk like me, it doesn't make us seem like we are the crazy ones now, because the masses of our people are understanding what we're saying. They're feeling what we're saying. And that's why this message grows. When I was in Mississippi, in Money, Mississippi, speaking to the city council, and this is the same place where Martin Luther King was doing his poor people campaign. And so when I spoke up in that meeting, black people came out from their offices and everybody just stopped working to hear what their brother was saying. Because when they not only just hear what I'm saying, But when they feel the electric vibration of what I'm saying, it responds in them. And they become listening and become active. So the message, the way that we teach, the way that we show them, it is exactly what is needed to make them aware of their own self-interest and how these demons in front of you are not working for what's the best for you. They're working in opposition of you. Anybody can say a message, but if you haven't understood and tapped into the purpose of it, you haven't been tapped into God's purpose of it, it ain't going to do nothing. It ain't going to float. It ain't going to move. But when I give this message, by Allah's grace, it moves. And that's why you see in different parts of the city these reparations talk going on in cities. Because that message that we gave reverberated. And people begin to say, you damn right. Why we can't get reparations in the city? And you talking about the federal government, but let's talk about what y'all did right here. And then that's how you started seeing stuff going up, going up, going up. Because this is where that message started. And that's why we will be successful in giving it to our own. Because we will take power, and then you ain't got to ask for nobody. Because now you're in the power seat. Now you can say, this is what we're going to do. And that's why we have our political agenda. And that's why we work on it. Because this is something that we're going to do. We're going to give our people. I ain't asking a cracker for a damn thing. When I get in office, I get in that seat, I'm going to give it to you. Because this is what you earned. This is what our ancestors earned. And I'm not afraid to do what need to be done. And white folks, they understand. I've had different political meetings, different parts of the country. Different parts of the country. And when they send out the little message, the DNC send out, the little independent people send out, this is how I knew and understood that white people be looking at the damn lives that we do. Because they come up to me and tell me, man, you look here, you the realest that your people got. It's a shame that they won't fight you. But they only gonna fight me because you influence them. See, I ain't no different today than I was yesterday. The message don't change. The message don't change. But the thing is, I know I will be the winner. We will be the winner. I know that. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know we will be the winners. And I don't have no fear. This is who I am. And this is the message that we bring. And this is why look, as many times as this channel been canceled and done away, at one time I was teaching 4,000 people every time I came on. Every time. And YouTube keep breaking that shit up and doing this where people can hardly even find. But the work goes on.
So as you were speaking, something dropped in my spirit. Faith without works is dead. And it's not necessarily centered towards you. It's just like me personally. If I did not know what I know now, and somebody approached me with the reparation message to help me, wake up and understand my position as a Black woman in this country, for me, I would like to see something attached to that message. And I just wrote down some things such as tutoring. Like, once you give me the word and you got me all hyped up, okay, now what's next? Because a lot of Black women, they don't even have enough money to pay for tutoring services for their children, and it's desperately needed. And I remember I was talking to my coworker who she's a minister. She's an evangelist of a church. And she's always trying to get me to come to church. And I told the last time I went to her church was the last time, because they did three tithes and offerings. I don't, it's been so long, but they were asking for donations 3 times. And the third time I said, girl, just stop. I pulled her aside and I said, how much money are y'all trying to raise tonight? Because this is embarrassing. You could, I say, you could look in this church and see that people don't have any money. Just tell me how much you trying to, raise tonight, and I'll just write you a check. And I told her, because, and then their membership is down. I said, because you have nothing to offer. You giving people a message, you giving people a word, you hooping and you goddamn hollering. But after that, you have nothing to offer people who are hurting and who are hungry. So for me, I hear the message, but what else are these organizations that's asking for reparations? I get everything you said, but there also needs to be some type of work in the background to let people know, look, we got you, you know? So tutoring services for children and for adults. They were paying $8,000 a month for rent to rent a church, and they did not have anything available for any children to get tutoring. They had no adult education services, and so many of our people need a GED. We can learn how to speak a second language. So many, it could be a job search for teenagers and for whomever may be in search of a job. Like, you can get people in the community that have vacancies to partner with the church, so that when you're giving them the message, you also helping to give them a job. You know, I wrote down, it could be some men, when these men get out of prison, they should not have to pay for a haircut. They should be able to go. They should be able to go to these churches that's taking all these goddamn donations, tithes, and offerings, and walk from that goddamn prison house over to that church house and get a goddamn haircut and a fucking suit to be able to go to church. Next on the list, they could have a thrift shop. We take our old clothes, old shoes, items in our houses that we don't want, and we get that shit to Goodwill and all these goddamn thrift shops. These churches and whatever organization, I don't give a damn what kind of organization is. If you trying to wake me up, you better have some shit to help me out. And they can have a little thrift shop. All the church members or everybody in the organization, all we need is a little warehouse or whoever got space, so that we can have our own thrift shop. So when we go talk to our people, we can let them know the types of services that we have. Because the bottom line is, we already know that white people ain't going to give us shit, but what do we have for each other? And that's why spirit dropped in my spirit that faith without works is dead. And that's why for me, I'm more of an action type person. I want to see action. I'm that type of individual. I always want people to help me do things. But everybody's like, okay, well, you do the paperwork, girl, then call me. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm ready to get things popping. But it's like talk for me. I don't want to talk. I want to see action. I want to see community building. I want to see a little small farmers market. So Black people don't eat fish. Like I told my coworker, he's so afraid of retiring. He's going to retire in a few years. And he is extremely afraid to do that because his income is going to be very low. And he's a very charismatic man. He's very nice. He's loyal. He's kind. People love him. And I say, you like to cook, don't you? I was like, let's find you a wholesale spot so you can start getting seafood and you can go to parties and fry fish. You could be the fish fry man. You bring the conch salad, you bring the little shrimp, you bring your little fish, cut it up, cook it on the spot at the party. You'll make a lot of money, but he want me to do all the work. So you can give people the message, but it's like, for me, I hear you, but for me, I couldn't be a part of that. I just could not, unless I'm on a committee where it's action based. I'll be in the background doing the background work, because I don't believe in all that speeching and stuff like that. I will leave that up to other people.
Everybody has their job. Some people are speakers, and some people are those that are behind the scenes doing everything else to make things move. No matter where we are, there's always work to be done. I mean, yeah, here there's much work to be done, but people can start out with community gardens. I mean, there's one right around the corner from where we live. So whatever your mindset is for you to do, then people need to get up and go do. Those that are under B1, we have our agenda, and our whole thing is about taking power. Our whole thing is reaching and changing the lives of our people. So we understand that those seats we need to occupy, because once I control a municipality, that's we changing everything right there from the rip. So we understand these things, and this is why one of our main pushes was that we need to take a city. We need to take a city, because when you can take a city, that means you have a municipality. You got power. You got authority. You got whatever, anything that you thought you may need, you have access to. Now all you got to do is have the people to get it done. So, everybody does what they can do on their level. And at the end of the day, it all comes together and we make it happen. Because not all of our people are not going to move to Mississippi. They ain't going to move to Philadelphia. They ain't going to move to, but if we can control those centers right there where they are, then that makes it even better for us as a whole. So it's about work. Everybody's work is different. Everybody work, because everybody can't get up and speak. Everybody can't get behind somebody, get on the computer and type this up and do this, or be out there with the people teaching this or teaching that. Everybody has their own assignment that they do, but they put it together and it makes for the whole. It makes for the whole. And so just as this message that we're working on now, it makes for the whole. Because when people tune in and listen and understand what's going on and understand what we're saying, it enlivens them to make change, to do things differently. So it's all part of the plan, and it's working. It's working. So what may not be for you, it may be something else in there that's, squared away for you. But we all work together at the end of the day.
All right. First, Christianity has failed you because it was the religion which first placed you in slavery. Secondly, Christianity has failed you because though its doctrine of turning the other cheek, through its doctrine. Let me start that again. I'm sorry. Secondly, Christianity has failed you because through its doctrine of turning the other cheek, it has rendered you incapable of defending yourself in the hour of peril. Thirdly, Christianity has failed you because it has caused you to forsake the pursuit of justice in this world in the pursuit of an illusory and non existent justice beyond the grave. Now, my beloved, you are faced with the same problem that beset Moses and the children of Israel during the era of the Egyptian captivity. Pharaoh did not want Moses to preach the religion of Jehovah in Egypt because Pharaoh knew such preaching would bring damnation to his wicked kingdom. So it is that your oppressors did not want you to hear the gospel of the black man. They know that this gospel will one day be their undoing. Pharaoh did not want Moses to call the Jews to the wall to wail at sundown. He knew that once the Jews were united in the name of the religion of their fathers, they would no longer abide in slavery with a docile air. Pharaoh did not want Moses to teach the gospel of justice on this side of the grave. He knew that once the Jews determined in their hearts to seek justice here and now, they would rise up and demand a place in the sun. So then it is with us. Our oppressors are determined to keep our eyes in the sky while they control the land under our feet. They are determined to bog us down in an impractical ethic of turning the other cheek. The better that they may smite our cheeks and rob our pockets. We must not be deceived by the rush toward integration that has become the theme of the past few years. Just as the Romans were to beware of slave masters hearing integration. Why, I ask you, After 400 years of murder, rape, and slavery, do our oppressors now come waving the olive branch of integration? Is it that they really love us? Is it that they are sincerely sorry for their sins and seek restitution? If they love us, then why was there no evidence of this love in their hearts of their forefathers when they sold our forefathers like cattle on the auction block? If they are really seeking to atone, then why do they not offer us some measure of restitution, an area of this country we can call our own, to the sons and daughters of the embattled? They have not come to this hour because they love us, nor is integration a sign that they are sorry for their sins. The blunt fact is, our oppressors see fire coming. They see the handwriting on the wall and know what it means. They would have you believe that the days ahead hold glory for the Christian world. And go ahead. Go ahead.
So, and this goes back to the first program that we did about the book review. And we talked about, or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about justice being the weapon. And our people, you hear it in these churches, or you'll hear it just amongst our people. They say, we got to pray for America. We got to pray for America. We got to pray for our president. We got to pray. We got to pray. Look, when we see these fires in America, and we see the cold, and we see the tornadoes, and we see the floods, you're looking at God's justice. That's what we're looking at. So you can stop praying that the God stop tearing America up, stop burning America. You can stop praying, because this is what justice looks like. This is what justice, he said that justice is the weapon that God will use because of what the enemy has done to you, has done to us. You got to understand that there's no such thing as destroying a people. What did you do to earn the destruction that we went through? Just ask yourself, what did you do? You didn't do nothing to them. You didn't make them to come out and say, hey, we're gonna do. When you met them, you offered them love. When you met them, you offered them peace. When you met them. And what did they give you? They gave you death. See, you think that you got life, but you don't have no life. That what you doing out there, damn it, that's not life. That's not living. You don't know what it means to live. You don't know what it means to have a life. Because you suffer the illusion of life in exchange for death. That's what you got. You got death. And the enemy gives it to you. And now you found a way to love it. You found a way to love it. And as the lessons teach, why do you love the enemy? Why do you love the white man? Because he gave you nothing. Because he gave you nothing. Well, I got a degree. I got a degree from Princeton University. Damn it, he gave you nothing. Well, working with him, I got me a car. He gave you nothing. I got a house. He gave you nothing. Because you don't have life. And you got to understand that. You've been deceived so thoroughly. You ain't been integrated. You've been assimilating. You ain't been integrated. It's a hypocritical trick that you got to become aware of. Where's your culture? You practicing the enemy's culture. No, I ain't practicing the enemy culture. The hell you are. You out here celebrating Christmas. You out here celebrating Easter. That's the enemy's culture that you take joy in as he robs your pockets. He robs your pockets and you don't even realize. Because he told you, this is what this day is. Go out and buy. This is what this day is. Go out and buy. This is what this day is. Go out and buy. And make them richer and you poor. Because you want to participate in a culture that is death itself. And you better wake up and realize it. They sell you this cheap liquor that's killing you because you always want to be something to handle the stress of living a nigger way of existence. Because in your soul, you know there's something better, but you don't know how to reach it. There's something there, but you don't know how to grasp it. You know, you can look at, I watch these sports shows dealing on football. You have Shedeur Sanders, who's, as they say, arrogant. He's arrogant. He don't need this. He don't need that. To try to drop him in the draft. But his so-called arrogance is confidence. But the enemy don't like his confidence because the enemy didn't give it to him. And so when you are a black man and you walking around like you are it, and as they say, well, he don't really need football. And you sit back and you watch the black commentators, and when they got a white one on the thing with them, how they'll be speaking out strong, and then when the cracker say something, then they want to bounce out and back down. Damn it, stand up like a man and say what you said. Why you got to always back down? Because the enemy watching you. See, because you don't have life. Because you're afraid to say what need to be said because your enemy is on the dais and you don't want to seem as an opposition. You don't want to seem as if your opinion will dominate the enemy. You want to be seen as somebody that can go along and get along with. See, that's not life. You ain't his equal. They gave you the illusion that on that program, y'all equals. It's a fucking illusion. And you better wake up to it. You better wake up to it because it's illusion on that part of life all the way down to where we are. It's a fucking illusion. In the minute you wake up and understand the illusion, the minute that you'll be able to really accept who you are and walk in the truth of who you are. And you'll see environmental changes immediately because you accept who you are and you're being yourself. We got to get rid of the illusions, because it's these illusions that's killing us. Killing us. I rest.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
So in paragraph 18, the master teacher says, if they love us, then why was there no evidence of this love in their hearts? I'm sorry. If they love us, then why was there no evidence of this love in the hearts of their forefathers when they sold our forefathers like cattle on the auction block? So I know that our oppressors, they don't sympathize for us. They don't sympathize with us. There's no sympathy whatsoever that we get from white people. But when I read that, I also asked the question, and I'm just gonna seek and I throw it in the way it came in my mind. If African countries really want us, if they really sympathize with our situation in this country, then why was there no evidence of this? Why is there no evidence of this love in their hearts? Because their forefathers sold our forefathers to the white people.
Mm-hmm.
Why, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they treat us they treat us bad too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that goes right back to everybody has their teeth in us. We are like sheep among wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody really sympathizes with us.
Nope.
But everybody got their hand out wanting something from us. And we too damn blind to see that we stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what came to my mind.
And you know, they don't love us. And the problem is because we want to be loved. And I said this on Sunday's program that look, this idea that we have of Africa does not exist. And we need to wake up and understand that it does not exist. We want to be loved. We want to be welcomed back. But unfortunately, we're dealing with a governmental system that feeds its own, and in their heart is not love for us. The president of Ghana said it. No, we don't mean for the regular, everyday black person to come back and give them free land and give them. We're not talking about them.
Hmm.
We talking about the Beyoncés, the Jay-Z. We talking about the ones who are already squared away that they can bring their riches here to help make the country rich. That's who we want to come home.
But of course they want them to come first. Because look at our people. Look at us. We bandwagon. We love that bandwagon bullshit. You know? If
Mm-hmm.
they go first, we'll follow. Because we're followers. We're not leaders. Even though if we went before them, we'll spend more money than Jay-Z and Beyonce put together 7 times over. Because we are forced to be reckoned with on the economic tip. You
Mm-hmm.
can't touch us. And they know that. So they just trying to, use game, but game recognize game. They can't use that shit on me. I just know, bring the celebrities, bring the athletes, now bring the musicians. And when they all on board, then a lot of black people will be running over there trying to turn up in Africa because everybody gonna want to get on board and be a part of it. Just because. So, I hear you, but everybody can get it. Everybody, when I'm concerned, I ain't leaving no crumbs on the table. Everybody is a target. Every country that played a part in the slave trade is on the docket. Period. So, my beloved, I, Elijah Muhammad, who must speak if it kills me, and who will die rather than lie tell you this: I know tomorrow. I know the end of it all. Tomorrow is not heaven for the Christian world. Tomorrow is hell for the Christian world. You have a blind spot because you have not come to the religion of your people. Remember, he said that's eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Instead, you are weeping and moaning over the death of Jesus 2,000 years ago. You are going insane over the preaching of Jesus' life and death. Yet, you don't weep, moan, and go insane over the rapes and lynching of your own people in your own time. It is a modern disgrace to see you shouting and having spasms in church over the mistaken notion that God gave his only son to save the Christian world. What a shame. What fool God would give his only son to save the devil? What fool people will give their all in the vain hope that the devil can change his horns and lay down his pitchfork? The religion that has brought us to the brink of destruction is the way of our oppressors. It is not our faith. It is not natural to us. Even more, our oppressor cannot follow the very religion he would teach us. That is so true. Columbus was commissioned by Queen Isabella of Spain to spread religion, right? Spread Christianity, spread the gospel. And they came to the shores of America and immediately began to rape, pillage, and plunder. And he was so instrumental in child sex trafficking. And I've read the diaries of many of these explorers, and they share the stories of children that were brutally assaulted by the conquistadors, women brutally assaulted by conquistadors, babies whose heads were banged against rock and stone, fed to dogs, roasted on open fires, but yet and still he's supposed to be spreading Christianity among other things. So they do not even follow the religion that they imposed on our people. And we hooping and damn hollering. As a matter of fact, when I went to Nicaragua, I went with a family member, and I remember we were sitting at the very feet of the Pacific Ocean. And I was just really trying to enlighten this person about Black history because they go to church every Sunday, and they've been going to church every Sunday since I was a little girl. And I was trying to tell them, what I learned about Christianity and how I denounced it. And I was providing them with information that they can go do their research. And they listen and they kind of agree, but they still go to the Catholic Church to this very day. They're never going to stop. As a matter of fact, when this person dies, they're going to have their funeral at a Christian church. I'm 100% sure of that. But we went to, I don't know if it was in Grenada. We went to Grenada one day. We went to a lot of places throughout Central America. And I remember we went to one of the oldest churches that was built by the Spanish. That church was like 300 to 400 years old. And I never forget when I walked into it was like a military fort. It was built like a military fort, but it was a church, and it was old as hell, but it was in really nice condition. I went inside the church and I saw, my spirit told me, look up. When I looked up, I saw pyramids, all-seeing eyes, Kemetic symbols, and I was just taking so many pictures. I was like, I told you they don't believe in this shit. I told you the motherfuckers, they own that Kemetic shit. And I was just taking so many pictures. Do you know that person took that camera and the film and threw it away so I wouldn't have access to it? Because I proved, yep. They stole the camera from me, took the film and got rid of it. And they claimed that they lost the camera and all of the footage because they knew that you can't get around the truth. You go into these Christian churches, look up and look around, and you will see our symbols because they know who we are. We just don't know who we are. And I
Exactly.
would never forget that moment. I will never in my life forget that moment.
Mm, mm, mm.
So I have no alternative but to tell you that there is no life beyond the grave. There is no justice in the sweet by and by. Immortality is now here. We are the blessed of God. We must exert every means to protect ourselves. The message I bring is not for cowards. Those of you who follow me must be ready to withstand the barbs and insults of those who come to investigate, pry, and claim that our ultimate aim is to undermine the American way of life. We have no such intentions. Our critics know it. There is nothing under the rug or subversive about what I say and teach. It is shouted over the air in the newspapers, on the street corners. Why then should you be intimidated by those who seek only to throw fear in your hearts and know what we say is right? How ironic it is that the very people who charge us with disturbing the status quo themselves go around raping, lynching, denying citizens the right to vote, and take into the halls of Congress to call you and me everything from a beast to an amoral entity. Yet they unite with their own kind. They give aid and comfort to their own kind. They bring their common enemy to naught. When then is it so wrong and submersive that you and I unite for the same end? If
Exactly.
you
Yep, excuse me.
keep on.
No, no, hold on. I wanted to say something on here. No matter what, this enemy always covers for each other. It was just what yesterday that a cop shot a black man, killed him, and you see it on video, but the police come out and say it was a justified killing. You see it on video, Robert Brooks beat to death. Oh, well, we can't say it's a crime yet. We don't know. We still looking. We still studying. We still investigating. What takes so long? You can see it right in front of your face. Because they always cover for each other. That's their rule. That's their culture. That's what they want to do. But they'll charge you to be subversive when you're the one who was subverted. See, subversion is really a military term, a tactic, where they teach you their stuff and teach you in a way that you'll reject your own to accept theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they'll put these commercials on TV. Oh, this Lexus, or this, or here's a commercial I remember from a boy. What was the Calgon commercial? The white woman in the tub with the bubbles. She in the damn tub naked. And you're looking at the TV like, God damn, let the bubble pop, let the bubble pop. And this is what's going on, and it's teaching you that the white woman is the best woman. The white woman is the most sexy and pretty woman. When you want a woman, you go get you a white woman and you got you something. And it's subverting you because in your own natural self, you know the black woman is the best woman. But they keep this theme right in front of your face. And you keep eating it, and then you become subverted. You put down what is naturally right for you to take up something that's foreign to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wonder why you ain't got nothing. You got to wake up and understand what the trick is being played right in front of your face. Master Fard Muhammad said there'll be a day where we'll invite the devil in our own living room.
Mm.
We got the devil in our living rooms and our bedrooms. Some of us even got the damn devil in our bathrooms because we got that TV right there. And we sitting there letting the devil continuously just feed us, feed us. You can be nice and good with your own car that you got. They put these commercials in front of you. Oh, damn, I think I need me this car here. Well, ain't nothing wrong with the one you got. No, but they done showed me this one. I gotta have it. You've been subverted.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta understand that. See, when you really accept your own and be yourself, then that cracker don't have no authority over you. Though. He don't have no authority over you. Because you realize you are the authority. But while you still running from accepting your own and being yourself, then you staying in the line for that cracker to rule you. The American way of life is death itself. It is strictly death itself. The food, you look. I didn't even realize, I used to love bananas. And anytime I go, I'll grab me some bananas. I used to love bananas.
Oh, Lord.
And we were doing a live stream one day on food. And the panel said that and my daughter was on there, Dashan, and she was like, and these bananas, Daddy, that you eat, they not even real bananas. I said, what? What you talking about? She's like, yeah, because it don't have a seed in it. It's not real. And blew my mind. And I haven't eaten a banana since. We don't even eat real food and don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far they trick you. That's why the American way of life is death. They feeding you death. And you eating it with a smile.
Correct.
We better wake up.
Yeah.
We better wake up.
If you listen well, you can hear the screams of a Negro co-ed in Tallahassee as she vainly begs her four white abductors to leave her virtue intact. If you listen a little longer, you can hear the pleas of a Milwaukee Black mother as she begs police to free her 6 and 7-year-old daughters from a white abductor who held them captive and took carnal liberties with them for over an hour. These acts of carnage must come to an end. To that end, I suggest the following. First, we must discipline our women. If any of them are so blind as to consort with our oppressors, then we must take counsel among ourselves and with her. We must exert every pressure at our command until she will have returned to a state of loyalty to her own. Much of the defection among our women stems from the fact that they have been cajoled into following the oppressor's style when it comes to hair, dress, and clothing. These are the badges to sin and cause men to leer and behave lasciviously. If you study the customs and traditions of Islamic countries, you'll see the proper manner of dress. These are the rules we must lay down and enforce if our women are to receive the respect due them. Of course, it must be realized that the oppressor seeks out our women to debase them. There is no real love and affection in his heart for them or us. She but becomes the tool of his pleasure, the object of his scorn. Secondly, we must realize the difference between integration and separation. To integrate with evil is to be destroyed with evil. What we want, indeed, justice for us, is to be set apart. We want and must insist upon an area in this land that we can call our own, somewhere we can hold our heads with pride and dignity without the continuous harassment and indignities of our oppressors. Thirdly, we must realize that whereas the Black man in Africa is our brother, Our central responsibility is with the Black man here in the wilderness of North America, for us to expend our energies pleading for the cause of Africa. It's like a blind man pleading that his fellow blind man be given eyes while he continues to stumble in the darkness.
Mm, mm.
You know that resonated with me.
I sure did.
That Africa bullshit. Let me tell you something. I am like me, I don't like to make promises because I'm a very loyal person to the core. And in my youth, if I made a promise, I would keep it, even to the detriment of myself. But I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm tired, and you know, I'm gonna really push through these 16 chapters. But I'm gonna be honest with you today. I just did not want to be here. After I listened to all of Sunday's show, you didn't know that.
Mm,
You didn't know that. And
mm.
I was trying to hold on for dear life, but I was thoroughly disgusted. And I was like, enough is enough. I'm tired because I'm sick and tired of, I love the show, but I'm sick and tired of being a part of the show, hearing somebody talk about Africa every goddamn Sunday. Like when you really do your research, you can do a lot of research about Africa online. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been doing so much research about Africa. When I was on my way home from work, I could not talk. I was weak. I was literally speechless. When you do you can take a field trip with your computer and never leave your living room. And you can use Google Maps and Google Earth and read very current articles about the condition of Africa. And to hear all these people talking about come back and that's where you're going to have to go. I am sick and tired of hearing about this goddamn Africa. Many of these African countries don't give a damn about their own citizens. So I know you're not going to give a damn about me. The Industrial Revolution started in the early 1800s. It's 2025 and Africa is still behind and a few countries are just developing. Why? Why are the prime ministers filthy rich? Why are the politicians filthy rich, but the people are so poor? Why do they have numerous slums in Africa where people don't even have toilets and running water? And the government is fully aware of it. And there's no safety or health regulations. And you got people online talking about some goddamn Africa every fucking Sunday. Do you want me to show you something that is 30 minutes away from the Ghanaian airport in Accra? Because you may not be ready for what's going to be on my screen. 30 minutes away from the Ghanaian airport in Accra is a goddamn slum. Do you want me to share my screen or not? Because I'm going to tell you, after I saw this, I was speechless and I was done with YouTube.
Go ahead and show it. Go ahead and show it. It ain't gonna do nothing but good.
I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to hear no goddamn more about Africa. Show my window. See right? Can you see this right here on my screen?
Yep.
Is this showing clear? Because I don't see it on my end yet. But nevertheless, okay. So now I see it. So I put this into Google Directions, and I'm going to show you a video on about a fishing village. This is an African community, and it's called Chakor. Chakor is in the northern it's in Accra. It's a little, I guess, whatever it is, it's near the airport, like I said. And you can look on the map and see the distance. Now, based on what Google is telling me, you can get there in 24 minutes. Do you see what I see on this screen? Can you see it? Or is it too blurry for you?
No, I can see it.
Okay, so 24 minutes away from the damn airport. Let me show you how people are living. Because this is the same thing that my mother was telling me about when it comes to Africa. Once you leave that airport and you get out of that area, that they made nice for tourists, then you get into the reality of how people live. And if the Ghanaian government allows its citizens to live this way, ain't no damn way I don't want to be 10,000 miles nowhere near. I'm going to wait till it gets on the screen because I'm looking on my phone. Here we go.
Those tourists portray a different story written in the shadows of Ghana.
It's not playing on the screen, Maurice.
Ghana's slums.
I think you got to hit the play button.
I did.
Are where which makes survival.
I can see the play button, but it's still like showing the little triangle.
I want you to see this. Okay, no worries. Hold on. Let me come back over here to you. You got to show me how to do this because I don't know. If anybody is listening, please forgive me. I don't know how to do this YouTube stuff, but I want y'all. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to send you the link right quick, okay?
Okay.
Let me go back over here and just send you the link.
Okay.
Because I want you to see this. Because Maurice, I'm over the conversation with Africa. I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't want to even talk about it anymore. Okay, so the link or do you just want me to show my screen now? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
You send it to me in my email?
Just drop it in the chat?
Yeah, you can just drop it in the chat.
I dropped it in the chat. Were you able? Do you see it?
No, not yet. Did you drop it in the private chat or the
StreamYard?
Okay, no, I don't. Okay, I see it now. I got it.
Can you please pull up that video and play that, please?
Yeah.
Remember, 24 minutes away from the airport, and they talking about come year of return and open arms and citizenship. I don't want to be a million miles within distance of anything like what you're going to see in a few seconds. And this is not just one slum. Africa has several. And people are living in extreme abject poverty. And the government wants them to pay for improvements. They can't. You can skip it.
A different story written in the shadows of Ghana. Ghana's slums are where grit meets survival, where resilience battles with despair, and where everyday face like attests.
Stop it right now. Go back. Look at the screen. Do you see those people squatting? That's they practice open defecation. Open defecation. Do you see the boats in the background? It's a fishing village where fishermen make money to sustain their families, and their boats are docked along a coast that's riddled with human excrement, trash, and dead fish. This is their everyday way of life since the early 1800s. So this is damn near 200 years of shit and piss and trash and bacteria. You walking over shit to find a spot to squat. And you mean to tell me Ghana have the audacity to tell me to come home? To what? Go ahead and play the video.
It's like a test you did study for. Forget the manicure laws
right there.
Upscale neighborhoods.
Did you see all that trash? That's a body of water. That this is where they discard their trash.
Oh my God.
From my house, I'm tucked between two airports. That's about 25 minutes away from my house. That's too close to home to know that people live like this. And like, just play the video. I don't want to keep repeating myself.
The laws of Accra's upscale neighborhoods. This is the raw, unfiltered reality of urban life. These are slums that tell stories of struggles, survival, and hope, all wrapped in layers of grit and grime. Chokor, where the sea meets survival.
One of the densely populated communities in the Accra metropolitan area, because this community and others dotted along the.
That's a little boy who just got finished relieving himself. You don't see a sink, a toilet, soap, paper towels. He's not going to scoop it up and throw it in the trash. It's going to stay there. He had to walk over poop to find a spot to squat. And it looks like he picked up some type of magazine to rip a page out to wipe himself. And he's going to just walk off into the sunset like he does every day. You got children out there squatting along with grown-ups. Okay? This is their home. This is where they fish. This is where they live. This is where they go to school.
Wow.
Continue, please.
Coastline are synonymous with filth.
Chokor sits by the ocean, but don't let the scenic location fool you.
Well, great suggestions as to whether the people here will depart from what they've always known and done.
This fishing slum is far from a seaside paradise. The show here is a chaotic blend of rotting fish, plastic wastes, and makeshift boats that look like they've fought one too many battles with the waves.
There's a toilet facility here, but the residents say paying 50 pesos to use it is expensive, so they defecate along the shore.
Rising sea levels and pollution
Stop it right quick.
livelihoods of the fishermen.
They gotta pay. They can pay to use a toilet, but they can't even afford it. So what was y'all talking about Sunday? What was your co-host talking about Sunday? Go to Africa and start a business. They don't have enough money to buy nothing from your business. The mass majority of people are impoverished. So people got to learn to think outside the box. Either you're gonna sell to the mega rich, to people just like you from America, or to tourists. Other than that, your choices are very limited. And the option is to go and live off your retirement check. When you need to be retiring and relaxing, you open a business in a foreign country where the mass majority of people live like this. I didn't say all, I said mass majority.
Right.
And what did the master teacher say? The master teacher said, thirdly, we must realize that whereas the Black man in Africa is our brother, our central responsibility is with the Black man here in the wilderness of North America for us to expend our energy. Why are we expending our energy with plane tickets and residency applications and citizen applications and trying to get land in Ghana and opening business in Ghana and all these other impoverished African nations without fucking retirement checks? When we blind ourselves, what can you sell them? What can you offer them? Why should we go and pump our money into their economy and clean that shit up when their own fucking government won't do it? They don't give a fuck about us. They know we generate trillions of dollars on an annual fucking basis. Tell me I'm lying. We generate trillions of dollars and they know it and they want it. Because they know when we come, we spend money, we build, we invest, we buy. But you want us to come to that? Why would I want to be anywhere in close proximity to people that live like this? And that's not the worst that I've seen. This is a little bit better. Hell no, that ain't the worst. I got something even worse than that. I told you on my way home, I couldn't talk. And I understand why when my mother went to Ghana, she could not talk for at least 10 years. She couldn't talk about it. She refused to talk about that shit for at least 10 years. She just able to answer a few questions, and she'll answer 2 and she will shut it down. She said, I cannot talk about it. I can't. No, this is not the worst. They're a little bit better than some other people in Nigeria. They got something in Nigeria that's worse. But we pleading for Africa. Africa ain't pleading for us. We celebrating Africa. Africa ain't celebrating us. And I'm not trying to be too hard on my brothers and sisters, but our responsibility is here. I'm sick of hearing about it. Because those people in Africa are not okay. I saw this one lady walking out of Walmart one day, and I asked her. She had on a beautiful Ankara outfit. Her sons had on the most beautiful Ankara African outfit. And I said, are you from Africa? She said, yeah. She said, I'm from Nigeria. And I said, why did you come all the way to live in the United States? She said, running water and flushing toilets.
Wow. Wow.
Why I want to go somewhere I can't flush a toilet, and I've been flushing toilets all my life. I'm not going to build. I'm not going to help build somebody else's infrastructure. But if they don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. They know what Black Americans bring to the table. They know that. And that's why they want us to come. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and everything in between. They know the financial power that we have. And those, I'm telling you, this is just one of many slums. And this is not the worst.
Wow. I can't imagine it being worse than that.
What can you eat from them?
Not a damn thing.
Because they probably have buses, like when some countries they have buses that take the poor people into the city to work. I don't want them people touching my food. I don't want them nowhere near anything that I'm gonna eat, touch, or sleep on. So I digress. Wow. Because when I say I don't want to hear nothing else about Africa, I don't. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, yeah, I understand that's our brothers, but we got bigger fish to fry with our brothers right here. And it's just a blind man pleading that his fellow blind man be given eyes while he continues to stumble in the darkness. Aren't you tired of working? Are you tired of working?
Hell yeah, I am.
So when you retire, because full retirement age right now is 67 years old. Delayed retirement is 70 years old. So when I retire at 65, 67, whatever the case may be, as tired as the hell I am right now, do you think I'm gonna sell all my goddamn assets and go to Africa and start the fuck over with a business?
Nope.
Does that shit sound logical to you?
Nope.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
it's my time to speak now. Because see, I don't really want to be fucking up your show, but I'm saying let's reason and be logical about this shit. When I get 60, 70, and 70, I'm gonna go sit my ass down somewhere. I'm not gonna go 3,000 miles across the fucking ocean to have to go build a house or buy a house and go buy some goddamn water and hook it up to some goddamn plumbing and start the fuck all over again while my whole family is over here in America. I understand that, America's time is limited, but my spirit does not bear witness to go to Africa. And I ain't disrespecting no African, but I'm just saying, I've just gotten, God damn it, I'm blind. I can't lead a blind man if I'm blind.
Wow. I didn't know it was like that.
It's bad. Worse than this. The solution to all these problems lies in a clear-cut understanding of the truth. And I've come to bring you that truth. Now I spell it out so that even the children among you may know the nature of tomorrow. First of all, you must know the truth about God and the devil. We, the black men, are of God. Our oppressors, whoever they may be, are of the devil. Their nature is evil. They are incapable of doing good. Secondly, I must tell you the truth about the day of judgment. You have been taught that one day the dead in God shall rise again. You have taken that to mean that people will get up from the graveyard and walk about. That is so much nonsense. Properly read, the resurrection means that we, the black men of North America, will rise from mental death. Realize who we are, discover who God is, name the devil for the beast that he is, then, like Joseph, go on to become master in the land wherein once you were a slave.
That's real right there. That is real right there. And because it's so real, what they say, truth is stranger than fiction. And when you tell our people that we, the black men, are God, and our oppressors, whoever they may be, are of the devil, automatically they begin to say, "Oh, nigga, you done lost your mind." When you tell them that their nature is evil, they don't even comprehend what that means when you say it's their nature, that their nature is evil. Our people don't even comprehend a simple sentence as that, because they can't conceive somebody having an evil nature, especially the people that taught them about the so-called God. They can't relate to that. And that's because they're blind, deaf, and dumb. Because the enemy taught them. It taught them all the wrong things that will help you to be a slave, but those things will never free you to be your own self. So he has a system that knows how to make you a perpetual slave for the rest of your life, for the rest of your generation, one after another, long as you stay in that system. And it's time for us to come out of that system. It is time for us to accept the truth, because it is plain and simple, just like the video that we just got finished watching. Now, I've never seen that before. I've never seen nothing like that before. I wouldn't have thought that you would see that in any part of Africa. But even Emil says that Djibouti is 10 times worse than what we just saw. I can't even imagine what's 10 times worse than what I just saw. So, I'm definitely glad that what I came up with on Sunday about our response to moving to Africa was definitely the right one. It was definitely the right one. That's not what you need to do.
That's not it. That's just not it. And let me tell you what my spirit revealed to me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna send you another link right quick.
Okay.
That's a little a short. That's like a short video. And I do want to read some of these comments from Emil because they're very important. I lost my thought. I lost my thought because that I just been messed up all day after watching some of these videos in Africa, and I see it's like I'm sick to my stomach.
Mm.
I'm sick to because a lot of things are easier said than done.
Right.
And I remember my coach. My coach, she was a professional athlete, and we were talking about Africa one day when she had a competition in Africa, and I asked her about the experience, and we stopped training, and she sat down and she began to cry. And I couldn't understand, like, what's like, damn, you crying? And she shared with me that she went through a village where there was a dead baby in the street being eaten by a bird.
Mm.
And the people were just walking back and forth as if it was a dog or a cat being consumed by a vulture. And she could not believe that she couldn't believe what she was seeing.
Mm. Mm.
But yet and still, these countries have this open arm policy, like we stupid. You know why they think we stupid? Because the way we act here in America, you got to be stupid. I really do. I really do believe that these countries think that we're extremely illiterate and ignorant and just dumb. Because after all, we haven't risen. So if we continue to pump trillions of dollars into a system that benefits our oppressor, why not come and pump it into our economy? Because after all, it's like I said, we stuck between a rock and a hard place. You got the slave master on one side and the slave trader on the other. And everybody got their arms out talking about some goddamn integrate and this gonna be okay and forget about the past. That's not my personality.
No.
I want blood from everybody because everybody's guilty. But play this
Exactly.
video right quick.
Okay.
I moved to Ghana almost 6 months ago now, and here are some mistakes I made so you don't have to. I first came to Ghana in 2022 after not being here over 10 plus years. And when I came, my goal was to kind of get a feel for Ghana, see how I liked it, and see if I could even live here long term. Now, in 2022, I was having the time of my life. Your girl had no worries until I started to have worries. I got sick, y'all, like on my deathbed sick. But by the grace of God, I'm alive to tell the story. Obviously, here I am. But what I realized is I was underprepared. I didn't ship anything as far as food goes, as far as clothing, household items, anything like that. So the second time around when I moved to Ghana this past year, I made sure I shipped everything I needed. Because if you say you're going to buy it here in Ghana, it's going to be 4 times more expensive. So just ship it yourself. If you're in North Carolina or South Carolina, definitely hit up my uncle, Mr. Shipwright. I moved to Ghana almost 6 months ago now.
Did you hear what she said?
Yeah.
So you moved to Ghana, but you had to get your goods shipped in because if not, it will be 4 times more expensive. How far your retirement check gonna stretch?
Exactly. Wow.
Your money is not going to stretch that far. It's going to be so much money. You might as well just stay here and try to find a way. And I told you, and this is for the record, and I'm just going to say it publicly. If I were to go anywhere, it's going to have to be with a group of people. We cannot be telling people to go here and go there when we don't know their financial situation. And we have so many women who don't have any men in their lives. They don't have fathers. They don't have husbands. They don't have adult sons. We just out here by ourselves. I can't just pick up and go like that by myself and put myself at risk. And so many of our sisters are in the same boat. It is not safe to be running to these foreign countries out of pots into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired of hearing about it, because there needs to be some compassion for people who are struggling and they don't know what to do. And it's people can get confused and give up and make the wrong decision. And you got to watch that shit being said on your platform. If you are a B1 director, you need to put your foot on that shit and get and tighten that shit up. Because I'm conscious and that shit bothers me. I can only imagine somebody who is learning and growing and coming into their consciousness. The confusion and anxiety they must feel, and they're going to run away and find themselves in a real fucked up situation that they're not going to be able to get out of. So if we cannot come together here, if we cannot reason here, if we cannot unite here, we're not going to unite in a foreign country. Because China is watching, India is watching. And one thing I know they can do is drop their prices on a dime. Do we have the mentality to stay so united that they can drop their prices to 50% and we still won't buy it? No matter where we go, we got a long way to go. And just hearing the word Africa now is giving me a headache. Because I myself don't know what to do. And the more I do my research, the more confused I get. Because it's so limited in where we can go and what we can do.
Yeah, I think that, like I said on Sunday, we need to stay put. That's what we need to do. We need to stay put, because there's no answer for us on the continent. We don't know that. We don't know that. This is what we know, and we should stay put, and we'll be all right. It is not in my spirit to say, let's get up and run, because I ain't going nowhere. So,
and I'm sorry to disturb you, but I'm sorry to interrupt you, but please allow me, because it's on my mind.
Go ahead.
What my spirit told me today is, because like when something is happening, I always go to the nation to see what they're saying. That's where I get a lot of my information to help me make my decisions. And think about the minister Louis Farrakhan. He has been all over the world. He knows a lot of African dignitaries who have opened doors and opportunities for him. But the minister don't live in Africa.
Nope.
So if the minister didn't pack up and live in Africa with all of the people that he knows and have access to, you think my black, broke, single, confused ass finna get up and do it? Because if Africa was the best place for us, don't you think that the minister would have been his ass over there already?
Mm-hmm.
And had plenty of provisions for us who wanted to go? Look up John Henry Clark. How many times he been back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Cannon, James, Professor James Smalls owned a hotel over there. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Professor James Small, he has owned a hotel, if I'm not mistaken, in Ghana for years.
Mm.
And I talked to him one time and I said, if you need help, I'll come over there in the summer and I'll work for you for free. You don't have to give me anything. You know, whatever you need to keep it afloat, get it off the ground, you know, whatever you need, I'll work for you 3 months for free. He still can't get that damn hotel off the ground, as much connections that he got over there in Africa.
Mm.
It's too many of our master teachers, Anthony Browder, Ashra Kwesi, they go twice a year taking groups of damn near 100 people. But where are they stationed? America. And they know prime ministers and presidents, and they know people in these countries, but they live here.
Mm-hmm.
They got access to information, access to offices and whatever type of limited services, but they choose to live here. And if they not saying go, if my master teachers are not saying go, it's no fucking body on YouTube that could make me change my mind about Africa. Because I study under the greats, goddamn it. I study under black men that go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they have not made the all call. Every black man that I study under, they tell me, you better stay your ass the fuck here.
Yep.
And they go on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
We got to listen to the master teachers. People that know somebody, because a lot of people gonna run over there, they're not gonna make it. So anyway,
I mean, you know, Marcus Garvey, and he always go back to Africa, go back to Africa. But when he was kicked out of America, he went to Europe. He didn't go back to Jamaica. He didn't go to Africa. He died in Europe. And that's
they didn't receive him back in Jamaica.
Mm.
They were throwing rocks at Garvey.
Wow.
They were taunting Garvey, calling him a failure, calling him out of his name. The children were throwing rocks at him. He was not received back in Jamaica. And look at Jamaica now. Jamaica is a paradise / shithole.
Oh my.
And they can't come for me like they came for Miss Netta, because I said what the fuck I said, and I stand on it. Jamaica is a paradise, don't get me wrong, but it's a goddamn shithole. I'm going back in March. I just left Jamaica. I'm going back in March. I'll be there probably for a week. It's a shithole. And I'm not going to stay. I'll be with the local people here and there, but I'm going to a hotel. I'm not suffering. I'm not paying all that money to go to Jamaica and suffer. It's too damn hot in the houses, the potholes, the cold showers. You might not have water. If you have water, the pressure is so low. It takes an hour to take a goddamn shower because the water not dripping. I can't. The dogs everywhere, wild dogs and shit, trash everywhere. I can't.
Oh, wow.
And look at Jamaica when they had Garvey trying to tell them, get your shit together. What they say about a prophet is not even received in his own home. We just some stiff-necked people. But you wanted to say, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that Marcus Garvey didn't return to Jamaica after he was deported from America. He decided to go to Europe. And while he was there in Europe, before he had died, it came across the news media that Marcus Garvey was dead. And when he read it, he quickly, sent out messages. No, I ain't dead. I'm still alive. I'm still living, da, 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 da. But he could have chose anywhere in Africa, but he chose Europe.
I see why he didn't go to Africa. Europe was more developed. I mean, if you're not going to be received by your own people, what do you like? Like, I'm not saying you, but what we supposed to do when we're not even received by our own people? I'm riding around Jamaica looking at all this trash on the ground. I'm like, y'all see the trash. Why don't y'all pick up this trash? I showed somebody the images of the slums. They say, you know what? They say some people just dirty. That's no other excuse. That's just dirty. They choose to live in filth. Africa has the manpower. If If these African governments really wanted to change Africa, they could, but they're going to have to stop being selfish, and they're going to have to spread the wealth among the people. But they so selfish, they don't want to do that. They got the manpower to do the work. You can just build them a nicer home, give them food to eat, and just say, y'all going to help build the country. It's same way in Jamaica. Why did the Chinese have to come to Jamaica to build the highway when you got all these goddamn Jamaicans that don't have a job? Like, what's like the minister said, something is wrong with us mentally. What's wrong with us? Mari, listen to this. This is MOA. He said, just today I spoke with another friend from Ghana. She advised me not to live and settle in Ghana. Not just Ghana, but she also mentioned other African countries. She told me they're just good places to visit, but not to live. She said the only way I can survive in any African country is if I have the money. And a lot of us in America are living paycheck to paycheck. And you really got to have a lot of money. You got to have an anchor. You got to go there with, like Maurice said, Beyonce and Jay-Z money. We can't go over there on our little measly paycheck, sell our house, go buy a house. That money gonna run out soon.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I've been to Ghana several times. Needs lots and lots and lots of improvement. Everywhere are slums, children walking barefoot, and malnourished farm animals and stray dogs everywhere. The only thing about Africa that attracts tourists are the safaris. That's pretty much it. There are other good places to visit, but Africa as a whole continent needs tremendous improvements. I was thinking about moving to an African country just to get away from America KKK and then renounce my American citizenship, but my African friends advised me not to do that. I'm afraid I'm stuck here. And that's very important, because why are we running to a country where people are running away from? Wait till I show you the video of what's going on in Nigeria and how they sleep at the embassy. People been sleeping there for weeks at a time trying to get a way out. They sleeping outside in the rain, in the heat with the mosquitoes. Don't even have a place to use the bathroom, trying to get a way out of Nigeria, and we contemplating moving in. Not gonna lie, this conversation disheartens me so much. The fact that diasporic Africans remain divided and will be so for some time, and it's all due to the European enslavement and colonizing. And Anna, is it Annabelle Vars? I can't see, it's so small. What's wrong? We rejected our true messengers because we don't want to be righteous. And I fully believe that 100%. You got to walk right before our God. You got to walk right before our God. And I tell people, I sacrificed my life. I sacrificed my life to this game, to this consciousness. And that's why I'm so blessed. And I'm not going anywhere until I hear the sound from my master teachers to tell me to pack up and go. Because when I spoke to a minister in the Nation of Islam last week, when I told him about this Africa shit, he said, hell no. Nah. He said, we are told to stay the hell away. He didn't say hell because he don't use profanity. He said in the Nation of Islam, we are told to stay away from Africa. There are some other places that we are contemplating if we have to go as a group. He said, but Africa is not on the list. I trust the Nation of Islam. And when I make my decisions, that's who I run to. I'm not a member of the nation, but I do listen to what they have to say, because you know they got connections all over the world.
That is true. That is true.
And so we finished chapter 1.
All right.
So you have any final thoughts?
Definitely. First, I want to say thank everybody for joining us for part 2 of chapter 1. I'm definitely looking forward to get into chapter 2. We are living in the fall of America, and that is true. That is a reality. But don't feel disheartened because the conversation is what it is. Some of our people don't want to be our people. They want to stay the way that the enemy has made them. And they're happy with nothing. That's just the way it is. We will perfect the message that we bring. We will perfect the manner in which we bring it. And those that want righteousness, they'll come. But everybody ain't going to make it. That's just the reality of it. We would love for all of ours to make it. But that's just not going to be the case. So we have to work cheerfully in our mission and get it done. No matter hell, no matter high water. There's going to be pain in this work. None of us will be able to sidestep pain. None of us. None of us is going to be able to sidestep all the betrayal that went forth, that's coming. Because we don't know who the person is to the left or to the right of us. We do our best to separate people out, but there will be those that come through. And we have to always be on the alert. Always. But let us not forget that this is a war, and a war is not pretty. Every battle is not pretty, but it is a war that we're going to win. That much I can guarantee you. Can't guarantee you we all going to make it to see the end, but I can guarantee you that we will win. And because I know we're going to win, that gives me the excitement. That helps to keep me pushing, because we will win. That's not even debatable. But hold fast to the invincible truth. Hold fast to that truth that cannot be destroyed. Because this truth is the truth of your life. This truth is the truth of your baby's lives. We're God's people. We are God's people. And we already won. We just got to make it to the destination. Sister Mayat, I thank you again for hosting this program. I thank you again for being the light of the program. I thank you for having the idea of the program, because it helps our people. It helps our people. And I'm just blessed that you asked me to be able to do it with you. And I can't thank you enough, because it even revives my soul every time we do it. And I thank you, my sister.
You're welcome. Before we leave, MOA asked a question. I don't want to leave without addressing it. It said, Maurice, as I'm reading from this excerpt, Elijah Muhammad says there's no life beyond the grave, meaning there is no afterlife. Do you still believe in reincarnation as an everlasting cycle?
Good question. I do believe that you do get recycled. I don't believe there's a heaven you're going to die to and go, or there's a hell that you're going to die to and go. I believe those are conditions. But I do believe that we do get recycled. So yes, I believe we get recycled. I do not believe that there's a heaven or hell, just as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that answers your question.
And they say, energy cannot. What they say about energy?
It doesn't.
It can't die or be destroyed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and we are energy, and I do believe that there's another realm. We go, like the Bible says, glory to glory, but I call it from realm to realm.
Mm-hmm.
And like I have a lot of family members. The like they'll come to me in a dream and they'll say, I'm tired. Like if they're sick, they'll be like, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. I'll see you on the other side. And when I wake up, I get the call that they passed through the night. My little cousin came and she told me, she said, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. My favorite cousin, when he came to me in a dream, he said, I love you and I'm ready to just go put on some clothes. And I knew spiritually what that meant because I know how to interpret dreams. And he said, I just want to go put on some clothes because he had HIV and he had a very bad case of AIDS and he couldn't wear any clothes because it was eating his body from the inside out. And he was a sharp dresser and he was like this, he knew it wasn't going to get any better. And he just wanted to go put on some clothes because he was, exposed. You got nurses coming in, we coming in, it was just, I'm ready to go. And when I woke up from the dream, he was gone. And another friend who was very near and dear to my heart, when he passed away, he was shot and killed by police. And when he died, we were on bad terms. And I never forget, he came to me like, I don't know, he came to me very shortly after he died. And we had a whole conversation in my dream, literally. And the one thing he begged me to do was to go talk to his nephew who was following his footsteps. And in the dream, I said, I'm not doing it. I don't like you. I can't stand your ass. You was very disrespectful to me when you were alive. He was like, I know, I'm sorry, but could you please go tell my nephew to not follow in my footsteps because I don't want him to end up like me. And I told him, I'll think about it. Had a whole conversation. So we do go to another realm. What that realm is, I don't know, but we don't die. We can't be destroyed. Our physical body goes to the earth, but our spiritual body goes to another realm. And that's why when people die, I don't cry. I don't. Sometimes I rejoice because I'm like, damn, they made it,
Right.
But I don't necessarily cry when people die because I don't believe that that's the end. Plenty spirits come have conversations with me all the time. So, that's just me. That's just one of my gifts.
Right.
And and I don't fear death. I don't. It gives me great joy knowing that I live again somewhere else.
Exactly.
So that was a very good question. So thank you again. This was good. And we're going to be back for chapter 2 next week, which is the dawn of a new day.
Exactly. The dawn of a new day. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, sis. And I want to thank everybody in the comments that came and stayed with us this whole time. The program was originally scheduled for an hour, but we were at over 2 hours. So I think that, we do what we do, and hey, we let the spirit take over from there. And so we thank you all, and we look forward to seeing y'all again on Tuesday. So as we always say, you kill the nigga in you, I'm going to kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first, today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.
So you better get the message and get it straight. You're going to need some bridge work. It's simple as that. Because we're living in judgment. We're living in implementation.